When I know that the woman I'm presenting with, the woman I'm trusting with my professional future, kept this from me? Claire's face softened with a mixture of pity and frustration.
Cal, we talked about this.
Jack's plan is the only way. We have to be smart. If we confront Diane now, she'll spin it, she'll vanish with Harrison, or she'll destroy Jabot on her way out. We need evidence. We need a strategy. I know the plan, he shot back, his voice cracking. But knowing it and living it are two different things. Every time I look at my son, I see the lie. Every time I look at my father, I see the pain he's trying to hide. And every time I look at Diane, he trailed off, a shudder running through him. I'm not an actor, Claire. I can't just turn this on and off. She stepped forward, gripping his shoulders, her gaze intense. Listen to me. You are Kyle Abbott. You are smarter and stronger than Diane Jenkins has ever given you credit for. This, she gestured to the presentation materials scattered on the table. This is the first step in taking back control. We prove ourselves here. We secure our power at Jabot, and then we have the leverage to bring her down for good. Don't let her steal this from you, too. Don't you dare give her that power. Her words were a lifeline, thrown to a drowning man. Kyle took a deep, ragged breath, meeting her determined stare. She was right. This wasn't just a business presentation. It was the opening salvo in a war for his family's future. He had to find the strength. Nodding slowly, he picked up the discarded tie. Okay, he whispered. Okay, let's go in over the board. But as they rode the elevator down to the lobby, a cold dread settled in Kyle's stomach. Stage fright was one thing. The fear of your entire world collapsing was something else entirely. At the Genoa City airport, the air was thick with the scent of jet fuel and unspoken emotions. The sleek Chancellor Industries jet waited on the tarmac, a symbol of a journey that promised escape but felt more like an exile. Victoria Newman stood ramrod straight, her designer coat buttoned against the chill, her expression a carefully curated blend of support and authority. Beside her, Cole Howard looked like a man heading to the gallows, his shoulders slumped, his eyes fixed on their daughter. Claire, who had rushed from the penthouse directly to the airport, was clinging to her father. I still don't understand why you have to go now, she said, her voice thick with tears she refused to shed. The media frenzy has died down. We're just starting to be a family. Cole pulled back, his hands cupping her face. That's all I've ever wanted, sweetheart. But this trip to Kansas with your mother, it's something we need to do. To lay some old ghosts to rest. To truly understand what happened all those years ago, so we can finally, truly move forward. He's right, Claire, Victoria interjected, her tone leaving no room for argument. The psychological closure is a necessary part of your mother's rehabilitation. And it's best done away from the prying eyes of Genoa City. It's only for a few weeks. Cole's gaze flickered to Victoria, a silent communication passing between them. This was her plan, her solution. Remove the volatile element of Eve from the city and from Claire's daily life, under the guise of therapeutic discovery. Cole was the chaperone, the stabilizer. He knew he was being managed, but his love for Claire and his own desperate need for answers compelled him to comply. I'll call you every day, Cole promised, pulling Claire into one last, fierce hug. You focus on your amazing new job. Make Jabot sit up and take notice. Your mother and I will be back before you know it. Eve, standing a few feet away with a single carry-on, offered Claire a small, tentative smile. The wild, desperate woman from the ranch was gone, replaced by a quieter, more fragile version, but the shadows still lingered in her eyes. She was the ghost they were all trying to exorcise. With final, strained goodbyes, Cole and Eve boarded the jet. Victoria watched them go, a satisfied gleam in her eyes. One problem, neatly dispatched. Claire stood watching until the plane taxied away, a hollow feeling in her chest. She had just gotten her parents back, and now they were being taken away again. The Bon Voyage felt less like a cheerful send-off and more like a surrender. Back at Jabot Collective, the boardroom was a theater of high-stakes pressure. Jack sat at the head of the table, his expression unreadable. Tracy and Billy flanked him, while other board members looked on with keen interest. Kyle and Claire began their presentation. Claire was brilliant, articulate, passionate, and sharp. She laid out their vision for a dynamic, digitally native media arm with a confidence that was infectious. But Kyle was floundering. His delivery was flat. He stumbled over statistics he knew by heart. When Jack asked a pointed question about audience demographics, Kyle's mind went completely blank. The numbers replaced by the searing image of Diane holding Harrison's hand. An awkward silence descended upon the room. Claire smoothly jumped in, covering for him with a seamless transition. "What Kyle is brilliantly leading us to is the integrated data model we've developed," she said, shooting Kyle a look that was equal parts warning and encouragement. Jack's eyes narrowed, studying his son. This wasn't just nerves. This was something deeper, something fractured. He saw the panic in Kyle's eyes, the same panic he felt clawing at his own throat every time he had to play the dutiful husband. The apple, it seemed, had not fallen far from the tree. After the presentation concluded, deemed a promising start, but with room for more robust leadership from Kyle, by a skeptical board member, Jack cornered his son in the hallway. "What was that, Kyle?" Jack asked, his voice low and urgent. "You were unprepared. You were distracted. We cannot afford distractions right now. Not with so much on the line." Kyle leaned against the cool wall, closing his eyes. "I'm sorry, Dad. I couldn't get my head in the game." "This is more than the game, son," Jack said, his tone softening marginally. "This is about our family, our future. I need you with me, now more than ever. Whatever is going on with you and Summer, you need to set it aside." Kyle let out a bitter, hollow laugh. If only it were that simple. If only the problem were just a crumbling marriage. "It's not Summer," he said quietly, meeting his father's gaze. The unspoken truth passed between them, a shared, terrible understanding. "I'm trying, Dad. I really am." Jack placed a firm hand on Kyle's shoulder. "Try harder." As dusk settled over Genoa City, two separate dinners were unfolding, each a masterpiece of deception. At the Abbott mansion, Diane had prepared Jack's favorite meal. Candles flickered on the table, and soft music played in the background. She was the picture of a devoted wife, laughing at his stories, asking about his day. But her mind was working, analyzing every word, every hesitation. "Kyle seemed off today," she mentioned casually, topping off his wine glass. "I hope everything is all right with him and Summer." Jack chewed his food slowly, buying time. "He's just feeling the pressure. This new role is a big step." "Of course," Diane said, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. "We should have them over for dinner soon. A family night. It would be good for Harrison." The name of his grandson, the living, breathing evidence of her lie, hung in the air between them. Jack felt a wave of, "That's a wonderful idea," he forced out. "I'll talk to Kyle." Meanwhile, at the athletic club, Kyle was engaged in his own performance. He sat across from Summer, pushing food around his plate while she talked animatedly about Harrison's latest school project. "He's so excited for you to see it, Kyle," Summer said, her eyes searching his face for the connection that had been fading for months. "You will be home in time to read to him tomorrow night, right?" "I'll try," Kyle said, his voice distant. "This merger, it's consuming all my time." Summer's smile wavered. "It's always something, isn't it?
First the job in Milan, now this."
Harrison misses his father. The guilt was a physical weight on Kyle's chest. He looked at his wife, the mother of his child, and saw the confusion and hurt he was causing. He was lying to her, to protect their son, and in the process, he was destroying the very foundation he was trying to save. He reached across the table and took her hand, a gesture that felt like both a comfort and a betrayal. "I miss him, too," he said, and for the first time that day, his words were completely, heartbreakingly genuine. "I miss both of you." Later that night, as Jack lay awake beside a sleeping Diane, and Kyle stared at the ceiling in his dark penthouse, they were both prisoners of the same secret. The bedroom games had been played, the stage fright had been endured, and the bon voyage had set in motion forces none of them could yet comprehend. The stage was set for a reckoning in Genoa City, and the first, subtle cracks in the foundation of the Abbott family were beginning to show, promising a storm that would leave no one unscathed.